always puts a smile on Jason's face. Guys,
Hey.
It's Arnold Palmer week. We got the return of Justin Thomas, the return of another signature event, and it's the warm-up to the Players' Championship. Guys, Fairway to Heaven, breaking down the API. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good evening, everybody. Welcome all to Fairway to Heaven right here on the STT Sports Network. Please, wherever you're watching this, whether you're watching live or on replay, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. It is free to do. It's free to support your local content creators. Please do it. I'd greatly appreciate it. It won't cost you a thing. Plus, if you got any questions, even if you're watching this on replay, please drop your comments. I will make sure I respond to every comment that is put out there. And if you're watching live, we have a poll question running on the YouTube page. It's real simple. Who wins the API this week? Scottie Scheffler, option A. Option B, Rory McIlroy. Option C, Tommy Fleetwood. Or option D, the rest of the field. We'll get into that as the show gets going. But, guys, I'm Phil Stiefel, joined as always by Jason Sullivan and Stephen Fuentes. Guys, good evening. Welcome back. We had a quick week off last week. I'm cognizant of the fact that I let the team down. Jason, I know you were very upset that you didn't see me or get to have me make 400 cognizant, cheesy jokes last week. But here we are. We're back.
Dude, I only get an hour and a half a week, and you had to take that from me. Not seeing your two faces was just like, it was killer. I could barely get through it.
You cried your eyes out all week, Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's a good thing we didn't have Jason, and we don't get to see him. Otherwise, he'd be bitching and moaning nonstop about his little toothache that he's got going on, Steve.
Yeah, and then how big of a gutless loser Shane Lowry is. You know what I mean? And so it was probably a good thing that he had time to recover from the pain, from the teeth, from the wisdom teeth, and he probably was feeling just as bad as Lowry was. I felt bad for him afterwards.
Did you guys?
So everybody knows. I put in the group chat. I said, does Shane Lowry become captain of the gutless loser team? And Jason, what was your response?
I don't know if he's captain. He's probably assistant cap. He's wearing the A right now, I think.
Your response was he was always on the gutless loser list.
Well, he's always
no different.
Did you guys play him last week, or was it just me?
I only did 2 lineups because I was in Florida. So I don't even remember if he was in. No, he was in one of the 2 lineups I did. He did. Yes, that is true.
I had him in 10 of 20.
Oh, jeez.
Not great.
I mean,
not great.
But he still finished okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it just wasn't whatever. And, that's what you get for me, like doing, no research, no prep for a show. And then you get a week like I have where I win basically absolutely nothing and lose all my money.
It's not like you had anywhere to go last week. I mean, it was like with the top of the board, Griffin withdrew. Somebody else withdrew too. I forget. But there was all the
top of the board too. Yeah,
it's like
there was no 10K range,
and you couldn't really go into it not playing Lowry and Gerard. You had to play at least one of them.
Yeah, and I played both. I will say the thing that shocked me the most was when I built 2 single entry lineups, and I forget whether it was the $1 or the $5. When I went to check like ownership percentages in one of those 2 contests, Nikolai Højgaard was like 48% owned. I'm like, this is where research comes into play because I don't think I would have played Højgaard, and he made a nice recovery from round 1. But man, that's brutal when you got someone in that kind of a field with 40-some%. You're just destined to fail.
He was awesome though. That dude has been so solid. Like he started off not that great too. And I saw your comment like, oh my God, he's 40 whatever percent you said. But then like he ended up finishing what, like 5th?
5th or 6th, yeah, something like that.
Really
but we are going to talk about him because he is in the field this week for the Arnold Palmer. Now, we're going to talk about the Arnold Palmer and Bay Hill Club and Lodge here in a moment, but we do have 2 names making their season debuts this week, and I'm kind of shocked. Well, I'm not shocked, but I am shocked. that they're choosing this week to make their debut. Bay Hill, we're going to get into it. It's a tough course, super thick rough. It's longer. And you got Justin Thomas coming back from back surgery, and you got Sung J M coming back from a wrist injury. That does not sound like I'm just picturing Justin Thomas on the 5th or 6th hole trying to hack out of that thick rough, and that back is just, all that reconstruction is just completely gone. Am I crazy to think that this is not the week to make your comeback on the PGA Tour, Jason?
It's about one thing.
That's about the money, yeah.
Lots of money out on the line. I don't know. I think the fact that, well, Thomas is a little different, but like Sanjay has such good course history here. It's like he probably thinks this is a home game. Especially with him, well, actually with both of them, it's like you don't want to wait and see on a course like this. You want to, I don't know. I'm staying away from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stay away from both of them. We sometimes talk, Stephen, about getting guys early, right? Getting on them before, whatever, or getting off of them, early and whatnot. When you're talking a back and a wrist injury, and especially a back surgery, it's almost like, I don't care if I'm not on time or early on Justin Thomas. It's just stay away, right?
I don't know. I think a lot of people have that mentality, but it's not like this is either one of these golfers' first time on this course. They know how, strenuous this course is. I think it tells you how much they feel comfortable being back from their injury. So I kind of feel like Sanjay knows, hey, he's never finished outside the top 21 or whatever ever playing here. I think it shows, hey, I'm comfortable playing here. I feel like, I know that my wrist or back, whichever one it was for him, is going to, I think it was his wrist. Mm-hmm. It's going to be tested. Why not? Because next week you have the players in a very similar field. And if your wrist and JT's back, if you're able to go 4 rounds here, you for sure going to be able to go 4 rounds at the players, and now your season is kicked off. So I'm looking at it where almost like glass half full for these guys, where if they know, they know their bodies. So I'm actually looking at a guy like Sanjay, first round leader sort of deal, where, hey, if you're gonna be able to do something like that, because you're not going to want to play him on DFS unless he's your guy who you're trying to pivot to. You're not going to bet him. If you do, you're betting him top 20. But I think if you want to bet him and it actually hits, why not go, first round sort of a leader?
I'm just shocked. Like it almost feels like, as hard as Bay Hill is, JT and Sungjae are using this week as a tune-up for next week. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I never thought of Bay Hill as a tune-up golf course, Jason.
No, but like you said, I mean, like next week, it's not like it gets easier. Probably gets harder.
It gets worse. It probably gets harder, right?
Yeah, so these guys want the money, so they're going to play in both of these events. But like, it's not, these aren't get-right spots, that's for sure.
All right, so let's get into it. Bay Hill Country Club, or Club and Lodge, whatever they call it, in good old Orlando, Florida. One of the most difficult non-major courses there is out there, without a doubt. This is going to test all-around game. This is one of those plays. This is like the start of, like, I hate to use the word, the grinder part of the schedule, where you got to grind out these events to win or to even contend. Jason, talk a little bit about Bay Hill and what the golfers are going to face.
No, like you said, this. I mean, we all know this course. This is big boy golf. This isn't
big boy golf
we've seen. Yeah, I mean, so Bay Hill Country Club, or Bay Hill Golf Club, whatever it's called, 7,466 yards, par 72, Bermuda grass greens, very large greens, very fast, but not undulating at all. So, I mean, it's not necessarily a course where you have to lean on good putters, but that definitely helps, I think. 84 bunkers on the course, water on 9 holes. Course is going to play longer than it is, too. So you already have a long course that's going to play longer than it is, with a lot of holes being less than driver holes. So you're going to see this is going to be a week 2 where wind is going to be a factor. You got to monitor the wind all the way up to the last second, and good wind players often play well here.
Absolutely. With that, being, so difficult, some interesting things I read, like you would think, like you've seen a mix of, you've always seen great golfers win here, but you've seen a mixed bag of long hitters, accurate hitters. Russell Henley, not the longest one here last year. I mean, maybe he got a little lucky. I don't know. I mean, we were probably talking about Colin Morikawa last year, gutless loser after not winning, to Russell Henley here, even though it was kind of like a lucky chip in for Henley. But you've seen long hitters, You've seen short hitters, all this kind of stuff. I tend to gear towards the long hitters. And this is why, because you're going to miss the fairway. I think I read outside of like the Masters, a couple of majors, more fairways are missed at Bay Hill than any other golf course on tour. So you're going to miss the fairway. Nobody's going to go 80, 90, 100% fairways hit this week, no matter how straight you are. So you need the guys that hit the furthest, so you've got the shorter irons versus the longer irons into the green. And something that I've been looking at because of this, it's got in the last 5 years, and I got this, I believe, from Ron Close. I forget where I saw this. For the last 5 years, Bay Hill has caused the highest percentage of penalty strokes on tour. So you need guys that are going to hit into the rough and then be able to get out of the rough and make par. Steven?
Yeah. No, that's one of the things I'm looking for this week is, guys who are going to be able to scramble, guys who are going to be able to hit it out of the rough. This is a course where, Jason mentioned, this is big boy golf. And, it's not just about being good when it comes to big boy golf, right? You got to have patience and you got to have like the mental fortitude, sort of deal in these tournaments to stay calm, right? Because this is a course where you're going to hit what looks like a great shot in the fairway, but because of how firm and fast the fairways are going to be, you're going to get down to your ball and it's going to be in the rough. You know what I mean? So having that, look at Scottie. There's been a lot of times this year where he has uncharacteristically looked visibly frustrated. Is this going to be a week where that continues, or is it, is he going to be able to recover? Because everyone, like you just said, not many people are going to be playing out of the fairway, playing the correct angles, leaving the balls in the right spot. So, I'm not afraid of guys who are short because you're going to have to lay up on some of these holes, because some of them have a dog leg. Remaining patient, I think is key. And one thing that I don't know how you can find these metrics, but like how comfortable is a golfer usually from like 5 to 7 feet, 5 to 8 feet putting for par versus putting for bogey versus putting for birdie, because there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable putting here where am I dropping back in, because I've just bogeyed the last 3 holes when I thought I had a good fairway shot. And, so I think a lot of things, strategic golf comes into play here. And the par fives, you got to score on your par fives.
Got to score on the par fives. Again, I read this or I listened. Maybe this was on Rick Rungood's show. He talked about compounding errors, Jason. Like you miss the fairway, then if you're not a quality player, then you miss the green, and then your chip goes off. It's like that quicksand domino effect.
That's Shane Falco.
It's exactly what I was talking. It's the Shane Falco effect here at Bay Hill. So you're looking for. I saw this on John from PGA Tour's weekly article. He compiled a list of the top 10 ball strikers with penalties for missed fairways on those courses. Like that's what you got to really dig deeper than just who hits the best approach, who hits the best, greens and regulations or whatnot, Jason.
Well, and that makes you wonder about a guy like Scottie. Like his game, like he seemed like he was on a different planet for so long. And now he's starting to do kind of what Steve just said. It kind of reminded me a little bit like where Scottie is not hitting the best shot. His ball's ending up not where he wants it. He's chunking it sometimes. He's not chipping as good as he did before. And he's kind of doing like the Spieth where he like looks at his caddy now and he's like, what happened? Like, yeah, it's like
that makes me hate Spieth, so it should make me hate
right.
Scottie too.
But like that makes me wonder about a guy like Scottie is still the best golfer in the world, still the best play on the board and everything like that. But like those kind of moments make me wonder how locked in he really is right now.
Is it locked in? What is it with Scottie? Like, is anybody concerned? Obviously, he's the highest priced golfer in the field this week on DraftKings, 14,100. Clearly, he's the best golfer. Clearly, it looks like he should have been playing on Live. He's only good 3 out of the 4 rounds. You should be playing a 3-round tournament. And despite his bad first rounds, he's still got 2 top 10s and an 11th place 2 weeks ago. Like, how do you dissect what's wrong with him? do you get scared of him, or do you just realize it's still Scottie Scheffler? He's still the best golfer in the world by far. He's got great course history here, winning 2 of the last 4 years here at this event. Like, there's something wrong with Scottie, but is there anything really wrong with him, or is he just in a little rut right now?
I would say more rut than anything, because like what you kind of started, this argument with is he's still finding a way to get into the top 10 minus, the Genesis. And so I just think it's early season, finding maybe they're trying new things. I don't necessarily know, but I don't think it's that he's like falling off. I just think it's maybe just a rut in parts of the game where it's not coming together for 4 rounds. It's coming together for 3 rounds, and he's Scottie. So he makes it look like, oh yeah, no, I can still go and get a top 10 sort of deal, instead of for most people that puts them top 20, top 30, right, sort of deal if they have a bad round like that.
Well, and I think everybody else and every other golfer in the world would kill for his slump that he's in right now. It's like, his slump, he's still finishing.
Not a Ricky Fowler or Jordan Spieth slump.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I played horrible. I finished 12th. It's like, oh my god, we've seen JT and Ricky and Spieth go into like these like year or 2 long slumps where it's like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like his game's a little bit off right now, and I think DraftKings. You know how we said DraftKings took so long getting the price right with Scottie. Now I feel like it's going the opposite way. Now it's too high.
Wow.
They haven't adjusted.
I actually like that. It's high. So Scottie's 14-1 for those that don't know. You got 4 guys, 10K and above. You got Xander at 10, Fleets at 10-3, Rory at 11-6, and Scottie at 14-1. I actually like that they put Scottie up there at 14-1 still, despite the Scottie struggles. Because you got to classify golfers' struggles in 2 categories. Scottie struggles, the rest of the golfers' struggles. The fact that they're leaving him there, and the casual players will see that price and be like, oh, well, he's not Scottie anymore. Everybody's talking he's not Scottie anymore. It might scare some people away. And it might bring his ownership down where he is not the top owned guy. I don't think he'll be the highest guy owned in that top 4 names. I mean, I would be shocked if he was in the low 20%, if not below 20% at 14-1 in this, like in that 18 to 22% range.
Yeah. See, I still think he's going to be 25 to 30. That's where I think he's going to end up. And that's part of the reason too, is that I've been looking into that a little bit too. And I think obviously if his ownership dips, he's going to become a play. Like you said, if his ownership goes to 18, he's going to be a play no matter what.
Also, we got to remember, I'm thinking that this is only a 71 man field. So ownerships are escalated anyway. So maybe on a normal week, like if it was the players, 18 to 20%, 22%. This week in an elevated field with a smaller field, maybe it'll be 25 to 30. But that's about it. He's not going to fetch Nikolai Højgaard 48% this week or anything like that. If anybody was going to do that, it would probably be Rory, which I don't even think that's the case. So, Jason, like, how do you maneuver? How do you decide if you think he's too high priced? Are you scared off from him then?
I'm not going to play him just because I think he's being priced like he wins every other week, and he's not winning every other week, which he's still finishing top 10 most weeks. I just think that the savings to go down to Rory, and you could make a really good lineup with Rory, or even start with like Tommy. I'm not afraid to do either one of those. And I think starting with Tommy and getting like either Fitz, I know Fitz is really popular. Everybody's going to play him this week, or like Xander. That's not a bad option for me to start with 2 of those guys. So I'd say in order, I would say Fleetwood, Rory, and then probably Fitz for me.
See, I'm different, Steve, on that. I'm still sticking to Rory, Scottie, 1A, 1B. I'm putting Fitz at that 2, and I'm ignoring Xander completely this week. And maybe that's a mistake. I will say they say that in this field, notable names without a top, like, so 8 of the 9 last winners here had a top 15 at this event at a previous year. There's 4 notable names that have never had a top 15 finish here, and Xander is one of those guys that's never finished inside the top 15.
And I guess for the same reasons that you guys are staying away from JT and Sanjay, I guess that's why I'm staying away from Xander. I just don't think he's, fully back yet. I don't want to be early on him on a course like this where I just, like you said, he hasn't had the success. I'm going, and I just think with Scottie, there's not enough. This is a week where I feel like you want to be balanced, right? Because of how tough this course is. One of the things that I looked up was 17 out of the last 20 winners have played this event at least 3 times. And one of those guys who hadn't played it 3 times was Kurt Kitayama, who won it on his debut.
Yep.
So, that guy's in the field, this week. So I'm with Jason. I'm staying away from Scottie because I just think his price tag for an event like this is too hard to have to work in. 2 6K guys, or one 6K guy and a low 7K guy, where I just don't feel like there's enough course history and good course history for those guys to make me feel comfortable. So I'm going Rory. It's Rory, Fleetwood, and I don't know. Maybe I'm a changed man, but I like Morikawa a lot this week.
I do too.
With Fitz as well.
We'll get off Scottie in one second here, but I do want to point out that I do think that there is a way to build successful lineups in an elevated event like this with Scottie at 14-1, because the 6K range, while not great, I actually think there's some names in the 6K range that are underpriced. You also have 70, 72 guys, whatever it is in the field. There is a cut top 50 or within 10 strokes, which that was 2 weeks ago. And I think there's 14 guys missed the cut or something like that. So you got about a 80% likelihood that you're going to get all 6 guys through. And that's the time. Like, if this was next week at the Players, I'd be on your guys' side with the Scottie Scheffler conversation. But because of this event, because of names in the 6K range, which I think some have good course history, some their game fits this course, I think there's plenty of plays that you can do. I did a couple lineups with Scottie and 3 6K guys. And I did not feel scared whatsoever with that lineup.
Are those 6K guys current form?
Combination of current form,
yeah,
their game overall, and their course history. Someone like Michael Kim at 6,200, who's got great course history here. He's been bad lately, but great course history. You could get away with him. You could go to, I don't want to go too deep in the 6K range yet, someone like Thagala or Fox, in the upper 6K. You could put both those with Scottie and be very content, in my opinion, that both guys are going to make the cut this weekend. So I think there's room to be made.
I think everybody that plays Scottie is going to go, their second click in is going to be Højgaard, Nikolai. So I think you just got to be careful in the way that you build. I think that's going to be a very common build. So just be super careful who your second guy is.
So, and I did this a couple weeks ago and had a little bit of success. I've got 7 6K guys. I've built my first 20 lineups already. I've got 7 6K guys in my player pool. Okay, I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah,
you've done this a lot this year, though.
But it worked the last time I did it, where I don't have a load of leverage. I got 2 clicks on this guy, 3 clicks on this guy, 2 clicks on this guy. Yes, I do have a lot of a few of those guys in my player pool, but I spread myself thin. So when you're taking a risk on a guy, if he does miss the cut, you're only blown up 2 or 3 lineups versus 7 or 8 lineups. So, but I also did that. I'm also playing Scottie and Rory because I think the 8 and 9K range, we'll start with the 9K range. I think there's a lot of question marks in these ranges. I think it's the 10K range and the 7K range and below where the strongest plays come from. Obviously, Morikawa coming off his first win in 100 years 2 weeks ago. The defending champ, Russell Henley, Cam Young, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Jason, like you said, is going to get a lot of love this week. There's a lot of good players, but I think each price in there, I can make an argument that each price is wrong on every one of those guys.
Are you guys in on Fitz or out?
He made my potential list. He did not end up getting clicks, though, because I went so heavy on Scottie and Rory. I only clicked a couple names in the 9K range. So I liked him. He made the maybe list. He just didn't get any final clicks yet. What do you think about Fitzpatrick? He's going to be one of the 2 or 3 highest owned guys this week.
I'm very in on him. One of the things that who was it? Rick Rungood was saying he's never lost strokes putting at Bay Hill, and that's the part of that's really the only part of his game right now that is struggling.
Yep.
So if he's going to find that part of his game, he seems to really love putting here. So, I just think that between his course knowledge and his current form, I'm okay with that being the chalk, especially if you're going to go the balanced route. I'm not very comfortable playing anybody else in the 9K range besides him and Morikawa. I think Siwoo, I bet Siwoo just because I think it was a good number, but I think he's overpriced for how he's played the last two events in elevated fields versus how he was the first 3 weeks, where the fields were so, there were some good guys and mostly, scrubs. So those are my two guys in the 9K range, Fitz and Morikawa.
What do you think Fitz's ownership gets to?
I think it's going to be equal to, if not a little bit higher than Scottie Scheffler. Personally, I think if Scottie Scheffler's 25 to 30, then Fitzpatrick's 28 to 32 in that range.
I think he reaches 30s.
Yeah, there's a very good chance, and like I said, I'm off on Fitzpatrick. The only clicks I gave Jason in this range was Colin Morikawa. I gave a few clicks to Russell Henley and a few clicks to Cam Young. Where are you at in the 9K range then?
It's hard not to like Fitz. I know that the owner. I'm going to wait and see on the ownership. I think in that one, I like Morikawa a lot. He's probably my favorite play in this range. And then Bobby Mack. I feel like he seems like, well, we said some of these guys like Sanjay might be. I think Cam Young might be overpriced. I think Bobby Mack might be underpriced. He's been really good, and I think he has an 11th here in his only appearance. But he just seems like a guy that, he bombs it. He's good tee to green and he can putt. So I think he's a guy that is, especially at the bottom of that range, is better than everybody in that part of the range.
Yeah,
Morikawa is my favorite though.
He made my maybe list as well, Bobby Mack. He didn't end up getting clicks for me, and I don't know why. There's just something about Bobby Mack. I know he's got one really good finish, but also one average finish as well in this event. I don't know. I just don't think he's been playing to the level we think he's capable of playing yet this year. So I think I kind of fell off on Bobby Mack solely on the more recent form. What about Hideki? Hideki seems like he's a guy that should just dominate this, but he was so bad off the tee in his last, 2 weeks ago when he teed it up last. Like, I wanted to get in on Hideki this week. I put him on my maybe list, but it was just so easy for me to just skip over his name.
He seems like a guy. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, his game, I feel like it, like you said, it should fit. I just feel like this is a course that can get under his skin, and once it gets under his skin, he's the mental game. I think more takes over Decky on a course like this, and to kind of go back to Bobby Mack, if the winds become a factor, he's a guy where it's not going to bother him, sort of deal. Because I know Jason had mentioned, the winds. If weather plays a factor, it's going to be the winds this weekend.
Well, the wind is going to play a factor. They've already said big wind gusts all week long. There's going to be a little rain maybe early in the week, but there's going to be big wind gusts all week long. It's going to be hot, it's going to be sunny, and it's going to be windy all week long. So you definitely want guys that can handle that for sure.
Well, I thought Hideki. I still think Hideki's going to be super under-owned. And I wanted to get there with him, but then I just started looking a little bit deeper at his numbers. Like we said, off the tee, super important this week. He's 62nd in the field off the tee in the last 36 rounds. Mm-hmm. He's 68th in the field in putting on Bermuda. It's like that's not what I want this week. I wanted to play him, but I just can't get there.
Yeah, I wanted to like Hideki. Hideki also strikes me on a course like this with super thick rough. What's it makes you think of, Jason? What just as much as likely as him winning? What else is he likely to do? This is the course perfect for him to WD from. Just to tweak something in his back or his wrist.
And not only tweak something, but he's like the kind of guy that he'll go out and shoot a 12 on a hole and then just WD. Yeah, which could easily happen at this quarter.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get to the 8K range. There's only 3 names in this range that I'm playing as well. I think there's a lot of guys underpriced in the 8K range, to be quite frank with you guys. Ben Griffin, 8,700. Jake Knapp, 86. Oberg, I think some of you guys might talk about him, 84. Kitayama, former winner, 82. And, of course, the gutless loser himself, Shane Lowry, at 8,100. Let's start with the Shane Lowry. And any interested in running it back, guys, with Shane Lowry this week, a windy course, tough course, grinder course, all that spells Shane Lowry. I will say this, Shane Lowry handled last week's collapse with the media after the collapse like a true pro, true champ.
Because he's used to it, just like Tommy was last year. He's used to it happening over and over and over again. I'm a gutless loser. I know I am. So, like, what am I going to be, an asshole about it? Like, no. I think
you really don't like him.
I actually do really like him, is the funny part. I just think he'll forever be a DFS play, but never a bet for me. Like, you just can't bet him. I think $8,100, like, when he's down that low in a field like this, like you said, I mean, like, if it gets windy and crappy, like, he's the kind of guy you want in. You don't. Is he going to win this tournament? Never. But could he top 5?
Now he's going to go out and win by 10 strokes.
Yeah,
on Sunday,
but could he top 5 this for sure? So I actually like him a lot. And I think the other one in this range for me is Knapp. Like, I mean, like, at some point, he's just doing it on every course. He's top 10ing on every single course that he plays, and it doesn't matter if it's easy, hard, long, short. So I'm going to roll with Knapp.
And Jake Knapp's game as a whole is like there. It wasn't that coming into the year. But right now, through the 5-6 events he's played in, every statistical category you break down by this field, it's Scottie, Rory, and Jake Knapp. Yep. He's literally playing as the third best golfer. And I said it 2 weeks ago. I will play and I will bet Jake Knapp every single week until he wins, and this week's no different. I built 20 lineups. He's the most clicked so far for me in 20 lineups. He's in more than 50% of my lineups this week, and I will continue. I'll eat out of all the chalk. I don't know if Jake Knapp will be super chalky like Fitz or Scottie or Rory, but I think he's going to be pretty close to the top of the chalkboard. I don't care. Out of anybody chalky, I least care about it with Jake Knapp because he's worth it at 8,500 or 8,600. You can't beat that, Steve.
He is the guy that I'm going to go away from. I'm betting him first round leader though, just because I can't go because I'm so in on Fitz.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to be up there for most owned. Knapp's probably going to be right exactly where he's been playing. He's probably going to be the third most owned, golfer. The thing that killed me about Shane during the interview was when he said, "I've never won in front of my 4-year-old. I only wanted to win it for her today." I was like, "Oh no, everyone's going to play him next week because of that," But I just think that there's so many people who are going to be off of him that he's a great, I think, GPP play. You 3 guys who I think could be great GPP plays are, first round showdown guys, Sanjay, Justin Thomas, and Shane Lowry, because no one's going to want to play those guys, sort of deal. Ownership has to be, sort of low.
Get them before the wheels fall off.
Yeah. But then if you pick those guys in a showdown, you're only living with them for 1 round. You're not having to live with them for 4 rounds and such. And if they hit round 1, then you might as well put them in, sort of deal in the showdown round 2. I like Ludwig. I think he's another one of those guys where I'm going to fall for the price of 8,400. He's got the 3 rounds or the three appearances here. Kind of needed to fit that mold of the last 17 out of 20 winners. And they were 3 top 25 appearances. And what makes me feel okay about hitting his name is the 66 that he shot in round 4 at the Genesis, right? So it's not like the game is fully broken. Yeah, the results aren't there, but it's a course that fits his game and that, he obviously feels comfortable playing at. And then I also like Ricky Fowler. Dude putts his ass off here, and he's at the very bottom of the 8K range. There's your salary saver if needed.
Ricky Fowler hasn't come close to winning this year at all, but I don't think people realize how good he's actually playing. Like, he's playing great golf this year. He really, truly is. And everybody was in uproar because last year Fowler and Spieth weren't in this event. They had to get and they didn't even get sponsors exempts. This year they gave Spieth a sponsors exemption this week, but Ricky just qualified on his own by his good, solid, strong play. And I don't think people realize how good Ricky Fowler's been this year so far. I'm going to throw another name at you, and this is more. I know I'm not an analytics guy typically, but I've been messing around with this BetSpert, model making, and I'm going to say Ben Griffin. Not great course history, not a lot of history here, period. But some stats that he ranks in the top 11 in this field. Putting on Bermuda, firm and fast, he's number 9. Approach with the high penalties for missing the fairway, he's 11th in the field. Long par threes, 201 to 225, 8th in the field. Bogey avoidance, 2nd in the field. Tee to green with difficult scoring conditions, he's 11th in the field. So all like the super deep dive analytics, Ben Griffin checks a lot of those boxes. And maybe this is a week where Ben Griffin kind of regained some of that 2025 form. I think at 8,700, for my strategy, you're going Scottie or Rory, dipping down in the 6K, you get stuck with a lot of Ben Griffin, Jake Knapp, and Ricky Fowler in your lineups. And I think I'm okay with those. If I'm going Scottie, Rory, one of those, and then one of those 3 guys in the 8K, I'm very, very happy with my lineup build on a regular basis.
What do you guys make of Goddard?
I don't know. I'll let somebody else answer that.
Well, my thought.
I don't know what to make about him. You know what I mean? Like, he's won twice, but then when not winning, he doesn't look good. So is he going to win or is he going to be? Yeah.
He's won twice, both on Bermuda.
Mm-hmm.
He putts like shit on everything else. Mm-hmm. It's so weird with him though, because it's like you just said, like he either wins or looks like absolute shit.
Yeah. I don't know how many. Is Chris Goddard a guy that's going to win 3 times in the first?
3 times in the spring.
Yeah, I just don't know. So I'm off on Goddard this week. He didn't even make my maybe list this week.
But do you need him to win at 8,300?
No, and his ownership's going to dip down. Again, you need to, if you're going to play Scottie or Rory, it's like 15 of my 20 lineups have Scottie or Rory in them. So because of that, I was stuck to play a lot of those mid 8K guys with the 6K and low 7K guys. You could do worse. Chris Goddard will make the cut most likely this week. Like, he's not going to be one of those guys that misses the cut in a small cut event like this. So you could do worse, but yeah,
well, in terms of
in my opinion,
in terms of win equity, his win equity is probably triple everybody else in this range. So
yeah, probably. The 7K range, a lot of names you could play, a lot of names that hit the ball far and whatnot. And I'm looking at the top of the top-ish of the 7K range here as 2 intriguing names. One, a guy that we saw almost completely just collapse 2 weeks ago in Bridgman. And I know I think he missed the cut the only time he played here. But Minwoo Lee. What's that?
Bridgman. Oh, you're talking about Minwoo.
So Bridgman, based off of how he played earlier this year, and then Minwoo Lee based off of just the fact that he's just a different golfer than he was the last time he played here, and he hits the ball a ton. Yeah, I think that they're 2 great names to start the 7K range off in the conversation with.
It's almost to the point for me, like, how do you not play Bridgman?
Yeah.
Like, he's done it on big boy courses. He's done it on smaller courses. I mean, I think he finished 15th last year here. Like, I mean, the dude is just – his all-around game is just so good right now. It's hard to avoid him. His approach numbers have been crazy. Doesn't make big numbers at all. I mean, like, he's the play for me. And then Pearson Cootie's the other one. He's another guy where, like, across the board, it's just all green for me. Like, the guy is just a really skilled golfer, and he doesn't seem like he's afraid of the moment either. And I think – has he played here before? I want to say, yeah. He played here once, 14th, yeah. So clearly not afraid of the moment. Been playing probably one of the 5 best golfers on tour right now. So far this season. So those are my 2 favorites at the top.
I kind of feel like Pearson Coodie and Akshay Bhatia, they're both the same price. I think you could get the same value out of both of them. I like Coodie a little bit more than Bhatia this week. Bhatia doesn't hit the ball as far, but Bhatia's got that creativity you need on a super tough, difficult. Like, Bhatia to me is more likely to win an event, a big event like this at 10, 12 under than a big event like the Masters at 19 or 20 under, almost to an extent. And I love Bhatia at the Masters. I think he's going to win a Masters one day. But his win probability on a grinder course to me probably is a little bit better than having to shoot 20, 25 under.
And Akshay has such a high apex for his shot that on a course that is going to play fast like this, it's taken away, some of that speed and some of that roll that's going to come after that ball lands. He's on my list of guys. Cootie's on my list of guys. And Højgaard is on my list of guys. They're my 3 golfers who they don't have a lot of course history, but when they did play here, they either played well or they're playing their current form right now is really good. But the guy who I like the most, is that sitting at the top of the 7K range is Adam Scott. You know, you talk about a guy who, why hasn't he won it sort of deal here before, with as much experience that he has here. Solid at the Genesis, you know, gaining strokes across the board, got the solo fourth. He's got the knowledge, he's got the patience. You just talked about a strategic golfer who's going to go out there. He's not going to try to overpower it. He knows exactly when he has to or when he can. So Adam Scott and then those three.
I want to remind everybody about one other name though, and that's Sepp Straka. It is an elevated event. He's one of the top players over the last. I tried to. Problem is zooming in and out on this new model is very tough. But I think it's something like 9th or 10th in the field in elevated signature events, shots gained total. Sepp Straka shows up the most in these type of events. So I kind of want to make sure people don't forget Sepp Straka, while he's an inconsistent player, when the lights are the brightest, he seems to play better.
I just worry about him on longer courses like this. That's the one thing that his one, I guess, bugaboo. I like another good name we haven't talked about.
Did you say bugaboo?
Bugaboo. It's a bad
Bugaboo.
What year is it? How old are you? Like,
no, that's
I don't think I've heard
child, right?
bugaboo in like 30 years.
Listen, I'm going to talk about Keegan Bradley now, okay?
Whoa. Keegan? Really, Keegan?
Yes. Have you seen his course history? His course history is unbelievable. You're talking, okay, so last 5 years, T5, T36, T10, T11, T10. Not playing the best right now.
No.
But really good player from 200 yards plus in the field, good around the greens. I think he fits his course really good. So he's kind of a sleeper for me this week.
I don't even know what bugaboo means, K1. Like, seriously.
It means like the thing you can't get over, like your fucking Achilles heel.
I know.
Asshole.
Sepp, hey, going back to Sepp, you know, the length I don't think is going to be got T5 here last year.
I think at Keegan, what's he, 75, 7,600, whatever it is, I think Cootie, Pate, and Sepp surrounding him is a much safer play. I mean, because his form this year since the Ryder Cup has just been pretty brutal. I'd rather go even further to Ryan Gerard at 7,200.
But have you seen the stash? His stash is on fire right now.
So shots gained stash. Is that a new stat?
Yeah. He's gained like 10 strokes to the field on that. So.
All right. Well, we'll focus. We'll get Rick Run Good to add a shot gained stash to his model making tool.
The stash is like Griffin's sunglasses from last year when he put those aviators on.
Yep.
And just so we're in like agreement here, nobody's in on Justin Thomas in this 7K range because I just don't think this is a place to get right. This is a place just to warm up for next week.
I might dabble.
You might dabble. I
love JT.
I saw somebody sharing the 85-1 bet ticket earlier today.
That's even worse.
I dare him. I dare him to have one good round. I don't care if it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He is going to be an instant bet next week at the Players.
Yeah. I think that's what Rick Run Good actually said on his show.
I love Justin.
Said, like, give me 4 good holes and he's in on them. Let's get into this 6K range because I have talked about it, and there's a lot.
Like you should lead off.
Yeah, I can name all 7 guys I've played. Corey Connors, way underpriced, and I don't think Corey Connors is going to be chalked this week
because he's so bad though.
He's been bad, but I think this is a perfect course for him, and this is a lights are bright kind of course, and he's got solid history. Sahith Theegala did not play well here last year, but he obviously had a shit year overall. Was hurt. I think Sahith Theegala is great. I think Ryan Fox fits into like the Jacob Bridgman or the Ryan Gerard category. Ryan Fox is playing foxy golf. Okay, so there we'll try
a mile. Also good, really good out of the rough.
Max Gracerman at 6,700, I think is perfect for this course and is playing solid enough. He got one of the last sponsor exempts for this. Mid-range, you can go Patrick Rodgers, who at 6,400, you can make an argument that Patrick Rodgers is at least $500 to $700 underpriced this week. So you can play Patrick Rodgers at 64, 6,500. The slimmed down version of Pot Geeter. He could just bomb and gouge this course. He could try. He could try. I like. We're not talking 6 clicks. We're not talking 8 clicks. A lot of these names we're talking 2 clicks, 3 clicks. You know what I mean? And you go all the way down to the best social media follow in all of golf, and that's Michael Kim, who I know he was great last year. He's been bad this year, but he has great course. He finished, 4th last year at this event, I believe it was. 60. You go Scottie Scheffler at 14-1, and then go down to Michael Kim at 6,200. Shit, now you're kind of – now all of a sudden you've got a little bit of money left to play with. So I think all those names – and there are other names I wrote down that I just didn't click on, like Austin Smotherman or Putnam, that just didn't get clicks. But I think every single one of those names, there's a reason to play each one of them.
Putnam pissed me off last week.
Yeah, me too. Bad.
I am usually so in on Putnam for most events that he's in. Boy, did he piss me
playing
off
Putnam last week, a bugaboo.
Oh my god.
Oh, big bugaboo.
I thought he was gonna win.
A big effing bugaboo. How about that?
I'll go back. He's a bugaboo because I'll go back to him. I will go back to him. Okay.
You're gonna bugaboo.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, exactly.
Jason, any names that I didn't mention, or any of those names that you actually agree with me on?
Fox, I do, for kind of the reasons we said. Like, guy hits it a mile, like I said, hit really good out of the rough, which is good, and he can putt too. He's a guy that I could see. Like, there's not that many guys in the 6K that you could say like, oh yeah, I could see them winning. Like, I could see him winning. Maybe not necessarily at this course, but like he's a winner on the tour for sure. Smotherman's the other one. I think people are gonna think it was lightning in a bottle last week a little bit with him, but the guy is just so solid. 4th in approach in the field, doesn't make bogeys really. He's good.
He doesn't make many birdies, but he doesn't make many bogeys.
But he's really good, 200 yards plus too. I mean, he's good in strong fields too. I think his upside is higher than most guys in this range. So I'm not going to play a lot in this range, but Fox and Smotherman.
I mean, if you're not playing Scottie, you don't need to.
No.
But if you're going to play Scottie, you got to find some love. And like I said, what's 15 out of 20? Is that like 75% of my lineups have Scottie or Rory? So obviously I had a dabble down here. Steve, do you like any of these names or some other names in this range?
Yeah, I mean, three out of the 4 names that I have written down for the 6K range, you talked about. I think, with Connors, maybe this is a course where he can find his form, where the last 5 times he's been here, he's been T21 or better. You know what I mean? The course history is there. Ryan Fox, the current form, T7 at Genesis, and his only time he's been at Bay Hill, he got a T14. So, like you guys said, guy hits it a mile. He has winning upside the same way Lucas Glover did a few years ago, a few seasons ago.
That's
I feel
fair.
like, you know what I mean? That comparison. Michael Kim for the salary, relief. Everything you said. Another guy in the 6K range, I'm gonna go Denny McCarthy. A guy who can navigate, who isn't going to hit it a mile, but can navigate himself around a course. And once he gets on the putting green, you feel comfortable with him, because of how of an elite putter that he is. So yeah, an accuracy off the tee too. He's going to be one of those guys that is rewarded with being able to play from the fairway. So those are the names I got.
Jason, you're really good at predicting ownership percentages for it. Am I crazy to think that normally when Corey Connors is around that 7K range, 69, 7, 72, he's like 25% owned in an event? In a deep field like the Masters, he's cheap and he's high owned. Am I wrong to think that his ownership is going to be much lower this week?
I would say
because of the current form,
8 to 10. I would say.
Yeah, I think
it's really low in this field.
I mean, I said I didn't give many of these 6K guys many clicks. I did put I did click Corey Connors' name 6 times. Yeah. Like out of all the names down here, he's the one that I just kept. All right, I got 7,100 left. What am I going to do? It's Corey Connors, and it just kept happening over and over again for me. All right, let's get on to contests and building lineups. Obviously, we didn't have a show last week, so it's still 2 to me, Jason 4, Steven nothing on the DFS Weekly contest. We did do one and dones last week, and I have pulled ahead in the one and dones barely. Jason, you say we're all just bad at it. Are you in any other one and dones, like money ones?
Because I suck at it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think my 1.16 through this point in the season would put me anywhere near the top of a one and done contest.
There's people that are like 4 or 5 million already. Like,
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. All it took was Fleetwood a couple weeks ago to get me back into first place. So, this is an elevated event. We can see this shift a lot this week. But let's start with the DFS lineup first. Jason, I think you won last time, right?
Yep. Steve's going to go first. You're going to go second. I'm going to go third.
All All right. Steven Fuentes, you're up first.
I am gonna go with. I only mentioned his name briefly. Kurt Kitayama.
Kurt Kitayama. Former champion, you need that. I'm gonna go right in the middle to start. I'm gonna take my favorite guy because I need more leverage on Jake Knapp. I'm going Jake Knapp at 8,600 to start it off with.
All right, I'm gonna go. We're gonna go Chalk City at the beginning. I'm gonna go Nikolai Hojgaard, and then I'm gonna go Tommy.
Tommy lad. All right, I'm just going for it. I'm gonna give myself one more click on Rory's name. My second pick's gonna be Rory. So Knapp and Rory still leaves me with 7,450 left. So I technically don't have to dip into the 6K range with those two guys.
All right, my first one I'm going to go with Ricky. And second one I'm going to go with Cootie.
Oh, good pick.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same guys this week. To be brutally honest with you, like we all like the same guys.
We did a good job at talking about them though differently this week.
Yeah, that's true. I got to pick one. I'm going to go Max Gracerman with my third pick. I do like Gracerman's game this week.
Wait, who was your second pick, Steve?
Ricky Fowler.
Ricky
Fowler and Pearson Cootie.
Missed that one. Okay, so you got Gracerman.
Focus, Daniel.
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to go Keegan.
That's a bold move.
Yeah.
Keegan is so winning it since I'm bashing your bugaboo of a move.
Yeah, so shut up. And then I'm going to go.
His wisdom teeth got taken out. That's all he had to come back with.
That's right. Okay? We can't trust anything you say today because you're probably high as a kite on painkillers.
I couldn't give you more pills. I'm going to take Morikawa. My next pick.
Ah, dang.
Okay. All right. Is it Hojgaard? I don't know. Am I mispronouncing it?
Hojgaard of the year. That's the HOA is the Hojgaard of the year.
You got to get the Huck.
You got to get the two of them.
All right. We're going Jacob Bridgman with my next pick.
That's a good pick. Dude just keeps doing it.
Doing it well.
All right, I'm going home now.
Fitzpatrick.
Fitz?
Yep, Fitz.
Fitz magic.
And Adam Scott.
All right, let me pull this up here. I gotta.
He's going with the most boring lineup of all time this week.
I need a win.
Consistent and boring.
I need a win.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I know. I'm trying.
I'm going Ben Griffin with my next pick.
Ben Griffin. All right, I'm gonna do Ludwig Oberg. And then I'm gonna go Killa Keith Mitchell.
Wow. All right.
This might be the first week I don't bet him first round leader. Oh, wow. I love Mitchell.
He's actually been really good.
I know. He's been right there for me.
All right. My last pick is Patrick Rogers. I did dip into the 6K twice in this lineup, but I got 2 6Ks, 2 mid, upper 8Ks, and Rory McIlroy. So I'm very content with that.
Ooh. All right. I am going to go with. I'm going to go with Akshay. I'm leaving 1,100 on the board.
Oh my God. Bold move right there. Look at him.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, shit. I thought there was one more pick to make. No, we're done. All right, so I'm in first place, so I can go last on the one and done.
Yeah, I'm going first. I suck. I'm going to go Nap.
Napster for you. It's a great. I mean, what better place than with an elevated event, elevated money to take a top 10 machine?
He's going to finish 33rd for sure.
No, not a chance. I will guarantee he does not finish 33rd. All right. I guarantee at a minimum of
36th.
top 15 guaranteed this week for Nap.
I thought you were just guaranteeing not 33rd. It could be like 36th, but not 33rd.
I mean, I have 3 names written down just to be different, and Knapp was one of the 3 names I had written down for my one and done. So, Steven, who's your one and done?
Scottie,
you're pulling the Scottie trigger. I'm pulling the Rory McIlroy trigger for my one and done.
Holy moly!
Yeah, you're being too conservative. This is an elevated event. You want a top 10 lock in your one and done.
Phil, I might be teasing next week, but I got a feeling you and I might be saying who I said and who you said next week for our one.
We might be flipping. I don't know.
I think there might be a little.
I probably am saving Scottie for the Masters, but I don't know. We'll see by April where we're at here. But anyway, bets for this week. I thought the numbers were interesting this week, odds wise. I mixed it up, and I've been talking about it. I've been doing top 10s and top 20s with all my bets. My first bet this week was Rory McIlroy. I got him. He was like at 9-1 on DraftKings. I got him to 10-1 on Fanatics. But instead of doing a top 20 and a top 10 bet for Rory, I did a top 10 and a top 5 bet for Rory. All my other outrights, I did top 10s and top 20s. So I got Rory 10-1. I got Morikawa at 31-1. Ben Griffin at 36-1. And I did get Jake Knapp all the way up to 45-1. That was only on Fanatics. Very small card because I went very heavy on Rory this week to win. I really do think Rory can win. So I did throw in more top 10s and 20s. I threw a top 10-20 on Fleetwood, a top 10-20 on Fitz, and a top 10, top 20 on Minwoo Lee as well. Just didn't bet those guys outright. So huge.
Been working for you though.
Yeah, it's been working for me. So got to stick to what we're. If it wasn't for my placement bets, I'd be completely broke this year. So already we're only like 6 weeks into the year. I'd be completely shot. My whole entire season would be gone if it wasn't for the top 10s and 20s. So
the show was like 5 outrights in last season.
Yeah.
By this point.
Yeah.
And I blame Goddard.
I thought you were going to say I blame God. I'm like, holy shit.
I was like, what? Whoa. This took a weird, dark religious turn here, Jason, what do you got on your card this week?
I have Bobby Mack 33-1, Keegan 55, Nikolai 55, Straka.
Back up. You got Keegan on your outright card too?
Damn right.
You are a sicko.
I don't like Keegan as a human.
I'm surprised that wasn't his one and done.
Isn't he like one of the most punchable faces on tour?
I can't stand him. I don't like him as a golfer.
Although if he's got a good mustache and try to punch him in the face, the mustache might fight back.
He does. So Nikolai 55, Straka 68, and Ryan Fox 120.
I like that Ryan Fox.
My favorite bet is the one.
Yeah, like there's a lot of great bets.
Shoot, I got one more. Oh. I have Rory to win plus Sepp top 10, 55-1.
I'm actually going to go look at some placement numbers on Ryan Fox after the show because, betting him 121, that's great. But to back that up with a top 10 or top 20 might be a really strong play. Steven, what's on your card this week?
So my first round leaders are Akshay 44-1, Jake Knapp 39-1, and I win Sanjay 76-1. And then my outright is Fitzpatrick 26-1, Morikawa 31-1, Siwoo 32-1, Kitayama 43-1, and Sepp 68-1. And then I did a little mini parlay of Scottie winning, Fleetwood top 5, and Morikawa top 10 for 60-1.
Yeah, that's a huge number right there. I hate the 3-way parlays, just like Jason, but man, that's a huge number to have Scottie at 60-1 with Fleetwood, who does have a great chance of finishing top 5. And yeah, that's a really, really, really intriguing one. It's just 3-way parlays on golf are just. That's a super tough one to hit, though. But yeah,
I feel like good old Arnie Palmy loved a good old 3-way parlay, though. You know what I mean?
I sit here and I'm thinking of Arnold Palmer. I'm thinking of how he shot a 71 when he was 71 at this event. That was great. This event, I don't think gets the respect it deserves.
No,
and you had the John Daly 18, a couple decades ago when he tried to tin cup the hole. You got the Bryson versus Lee Westwood. Yeah. Bryson bombing it versus Lee Westwood plotting. There is opportunity for this to be an exciting, fun event. I do like that it gets the respect with the elevated, portion of it. But I also kind of miss a full field at Bay Hill because there'd even be even more carnage to try to dissect and break down. Do you think this deserves more respect, Jason, on the schedule? Yeah, like not in the elevated aspect, but the respect level of this course.
I think it does. I mean, like everybody loves the course. Everybody loved Arnie. It's like this is one of my favorite tournaments of the year. That's not a major, 100%. Maybe even the favorite one. Great course, great field usually. And I agree though. I think part of the fun was the carnage before. Trying to get 6 guys through or 5 guys through the cut when you knew it was going to be an absolute shit show.
Yeah, no, and I hope someone like Pot Geeter or Rory or whatnot tries to go cut that corner. Is it 6 or 7, whatever the drivable par 3 is? I just remember Bryson trying just ripping it and then just standing there going like this with the crowd, firing up the crowd. I miss that, you know what I mean? And I miss Bryson, but that's because I got a man crush. But I think this event has the opportunity to have that excitement. We just need somebody to kind of stir it up a little bit, Steven.
And it's not like this course is ever going to get easier, right? Arnold Palmer would never, want that for his tournament, an easy course where this is going to be a, 15 under or plus, sort of tournament, sort of deal. So I think
most of the time it's 8 to 12 under most of the time.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's already now bringing the elite golfers. You get this signature. I'm with you. I think it should be a, full-blown event where the top golfers want to come to it, regardless on if it's a signature or not. And I think in due time it will be. It'll be one of those that.
Do you think they've got to do a better job of rotating the signature events, but also a better job of spreading out? Because we're now 3 out of 4 weeks signature events, and then after that you got the players. So basically you got unofficially 4 out of 5 weeks that nobody wants to miss. You see guys every week they're not big names, but Aaron Rai and Marco Peng, they both decided not to play this week, to take an extra week off. Do you think they got to do a better job of mixing that up and just flipping the schedule around a little bit?
I wish they would, because then you get into the dog days of summer where it's like July and August.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like maybe they are. Like Truist last year was a signature. This year it's the Cadillac. Mm-hmm. That's the signature event. That's never it's a new event sort of deal. So maybe with new management, sort of deal coming in, that they are going to rotate.
They do mix
up these other like the sponsors. Like, okay, we lost Honda a couple years ago, but it's like these tournaments that have been sponsors for so long that aren't elevated events can't be too thrilled about it.
No.
Nobody good's going to play in your events anymore.
And I think I feel bad for Cognizant. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure they're cognizant of the fact that I'm sorry. I love doing that so much. Like, it really brings a smile to my face to say Cognizant as much as possible. But seriously, all joking aside, they took over for Honda, and based off of the way the schedule's been for 2 years straight, they get a big middle finger from the PGA Tour. I am so not drunk right now. I wish I was. I am not. It's a shame.
Can I just say, so I've done a lot of podcasts in my day. This is only the second time I haven't had an alcoholic beverage on a podcast.
Wow. That's real dedication to the tooth pain right there.
I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, it's kind of the worst part of the tooth pain right there. Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap this baby up again. Hit the like button, the share button, the subscribe button. Let's go, Rory, this week. Let's win the API. Let's make some money this week, guys. Before Jason Sullivan, for Soldier Steve, I'm Phil Stifle, guys. Bubbles up.